All right, Tammy, thank you so much for that. And of course, people will be talking about gas prices. They're going to be talking about a number of issues as we go on to this election campaign trail now, day 3. The election's still weeks away, but candidates, they are heating the conversation up. They are looking to get your votes. So what has happened so far and what's going to happen this weekend? Queen's Park reporter Richard Southern joining me now. Richard, we said this is like you, a kid in a candy store right now.
I officially have election fever. There's no need to take a rapid test for election fever. Are you coming down with it too, Mel?
I can feel it. I can feel it. There's a lot going on, Richard. Like I can't even keep track of, well, we'll talk about those polls at the very end here, but you know, listening to the promise after promise and then the fighting is that's interesting. Let's begin here. Doug Ford.
Let's begin. Doug Ford, PC leader Doug Ford. Well, first things first, City News has learned this morning, a little tidbit, a new tidbit for you, Mel. City News has learned this morning that Mr. Ford has released his entire campaign. We're not going to hear any new promises, I'm told, from the Premier. All his cards are on the table. Ford's had a busy week 1, though. He has been all over the 905 primarily, defending himself or painting himself as the defender of the driver, talking about his promise to build Highway 413, which would connect Milton to Vaughan. He won't say what that highway would cost, but talking a lot about how he wants to build that to save commuters time, talking about his rebates that have been sent out for the license plate stickers, talking about his plan to shave 5.7 cents off that very expensive gas price. This is a strategic bet for Ford because he needs voters in the 905, and those voters, they're typically drivers, so he's trying to tap into that. Liberal leader Stephen Del Duca is still releasing parts of his platform. In fact, at 8:45 this morning, Mr. Del Duca will release some more planks of his education platform, including, he says, a major structural change to public education in Ontario. Del Duca earlier in the week promised to kill that Highway 413 and use the money instead to build schools. He's also promising to cap classes at 20 students, although there's big questions about whether or not there'll be enough teachers to do that.
That's a big question, Richard. Yeah, sorry, I'm just going to back up right there because these promises, everything sounds great. Everything. But when it comes down to the personnel and costing, will this even work?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of said, hey, it's probably going to be like $1 billion type of promise. So the money's number one. But number two, I mean, parents know there's not a lot of the teachers don't just fall off of trees right now. They're very difficult to find. So be difficult to make that happen. I should mention as well, NDP leader Andrea Horwath, she's been tapping in, Mel, to really the big issue on the campaign, affordability, promising to cut dental costs for low and middle income families. If elected, she said that'll save you about $2,100 off your dental plan. So that's kind of what the leaders have been up to.
Things have gotten heated as well. Various exchanges, people calling out one another, as we know, as they do during election season. You are following one specific exchange.
Yeah, there was an old tweet that came to light. And you know this happens on the campaign trail. You go through everyone's social media accounts, Mel. A liberal candidate in Ajax by the name of Amber Bowen, she tweeted this in response to Kathleen Wynne in January of 2020. Wynne was complaining about the Ford education file, and Miss Bowen says, quote, "Oh my gosh, sit down and stop talking." Quote, "You have caused so much harm in education." Saying that to the former Liberal Premier while now herself running as a Liberal candidate. I asked Liberal leader Stephen Del Duca about it.
She is someone who is a frontline educator, someone who has been a leader within public education in Ajax. She has a family, she has young kids. She knows as an educator and as a mom what needs to be done in publicly funded education, and she is working so hard. All of this, these are some of the reasons that I have great confidence that Amber Bowen will be an exceptional MPP for the community of Ajax.
So Del Duca, Mel, not shying away from that, saying, hey, we like that passion. But there you go. That was week 1 on the campaign trail, Mel.
Okay, with about 10 seconds to go, what do you think is going to happen this weekend?
The candidates are heading up north. There is a northern debate coming up on Tuesday, so they're going to head up north. As far as the polls are concerned, Mel, right now, it's looking like another Ford majority. We had a forum poll out just yesterday, had the PCs with an 8-point lead, thanks largely to strength in the Toronto suburbs. Downtown proper Toronto, Liberals are in the lead, but in Scarborough and all of the inner suburbs, it's the PCs holding the lead. If the election were held today, it's very likely the PCs would eke out a majority, though not as large a one as they have now, Mel.
But Richard, let's play the game. The only poll that matters
is election day, Mel.
As they
And
love
we
to
could see
say.
a minority government, we could see a coalition, and all sorts of interesting things can happen, which we'll talk about as the campaign goes on.
And we look forward to doing it. Richard, as always, appreciate your time. Thank you.